Jedi mind trick. Holy shit, motherfucking Yoda and shit.
Adventure, excitement. Jedi craves not these things.
I wanna know a movie that you can go see. You can count and play like a 1, 2, 3. Some like gloomy, some like goofy. Either way, we are obsessed with movies.
This report is maybe 12 years old. Parliament buried it and stayed buried until a river dug it up. This is what they feared she knew. And they were right to fear. Because there's a whole universe of folk who are going to know it too. They're going to see it. Somebody has to speak for these people. Y'all got on this boat for different reasons. But y'all come to the same place. So now I'm asking more of you than I have before. Maybe all. As sure as I know anything, I know this. They will try again. Maybe on another world, maybe on this very ground swept clean. A year from now, 10, they'll swing back to the belief that they can make people better. And I do not hold to that. So no more running. I aim to misbehave.
Welcome back, everybody. We are obsessed with movies. I am your host, Clayton Scott, and today we have a full room. Joining me, Kevin Runyon.
What's up, everybody? We have an exciting episode full of space, sci-fi, and kitties. And some more exciting news. Hayden McGraw is back on the show.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be back. It's been a while, and I love talking about sci-fi. I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Yep.
There was worries.
There was.
Yeah.
But I'm back. Do not worry.
We love you. All right.
All right.
So we are talking about sci-fi movies and kitty cats, and that's because we all chose to name our pets after some of our favorite sci-fi movies. I named mine after Ellen Ripley from Alien.
My two cats are named Mal and Inara from Serenity and Firefly.
And my 4 cats are named Chewie, Tebow, Wicket, and Kylo after the Star Wars series.
Kylo must be a fairly recent cat,
Yes.
obviously. I
He's
mean,
only 2.
within, what, 6 years? How long's it been since Force Awakens?
I
4?
was still on third shift at AMI at the time, so...
But you were there a couple of years.
There's a new
something.
movie every
yeah,
year.
so
isn't
I'm
there?
thinking
I
that
thought
was...
every 2. Because they put those mid-break ones.
Well, yeah, because then there was Rogue One and then Han Solo. I think there's been one every year now.
You know, I have a confession. I still haven't watched Solo.
Let me tell you, you're
You
not
haven't.
missing anything.
Really?
Honestly, I liked it.
Really?
And, yeah.
I'll watch it. It's on my Netflix list, which means absolutely nothing.
And Donald
Yeah,
Glover,
trust me, I
I,
know how that feels.
he nailed it as Lando.
I would hope
He
so.
did
I
so
love
good.
Donald Glover.
I think everybody in the movie was great acting. I just didn't like the way it was written. I didn't.
well, they
that's-
had all that director changes, and then
Yeah.
they rewrite the script
There was a
once
lot
or
of problems
twice.
with production.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And I did think that, yeah, all the actors did do a great job.
I'll
the
have
story
to check
was
it out.
a little... It's fun. Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
So basically, I'm going to talk about Alien. He'll talk about Serenity and Firefly.
I'll talk about the new Star Wars trailer, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Came out 2-3 days ago.
Mhm.
It's exciting this Christmas. I love how now Christmas is associated with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'll start with Alien. Do you want
Yeah.
me to?
Why'd you go with Ellen? Like, why was that your first impulse when you got your new kitty? Like, it has to be named Ripley.
Well, I love the name Ripley. I thought she was a really strong character. I've loved Alien, and she's one of the few people that survived the xenomorph throughout even 3 more sequels
There's...
with her.
Yeah.
So, and then another reason is because at the end of Alien, she goes back to grab the cat. And I thought that was pretty neat because most people wouldn't have done it. They would have said,
Yeah.
fuck that cat. Which, when I say that, I mean it as they would leave them behind,
Forget
not
it.
physically touch the animal. So I want to be clear on that. And
Nothing is illegal.
at such a terrifying moment, she still thinks of the animal, and I think that was pretty cool. And I wanted to name her after her. Talk about a little bit of the movie. If you have not seen Alien, you guys, I hope, have seen Alien.
Yes. Yeah.
They are heading home, and the year is 2122, and they get a distress call, but it's really not a distress call. It's a warning, but they still go. That's where they come in contact with the eggs. Do you guys have any input about
The eggs.
or anything about Alien?
I always just think of the
Maybe it was
Chestbuster.
aliens.
Oh.
alien coming out. Like that's kind of the most like iconic scene from the movie.
It really is. That was your real introduction to it being an alien, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
before that, you really just seen the face hugger and you didn't quite know what was happening or anything. And with the Chestbuster scene, the crew didn't even know about it. The crew didn't know that that's how it was going to play out.
Really.
So the cast didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing Ridley Scott was really big on was getting reactions from them. None of them knew that he was going to have something busted out. So when that first shot of blood comes squirting out, that was done with like an air compressor. Their reactions, that pure terror.
It's genius.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's really neat, and knowing that and watching it, it's pretty funny.
So these people are like actually terrified. They
Right,
don't know what's going on.
Like the shock value,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, and the one person that did know had an idea of what was coming, and Tom Skerritt said that he didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but he knew something was going to about because he was kind of involved with the script a little bit. Not so much writing, but him and Ridley Scott were pretty close together on set. So I thought that was really interesting for you to bring up the chest-busting scene. Mostly also, that's just probably the most iconic scene of all Alien. A little fact, though, about Tom Skerritt's character, Dallas. Harrison Ford turned it down originally.
Really?
Yeah, in 1979. So he would have been coming right off the high of Han Solo, wouldn't he have? Or been doing it at that time?
Yeah. So what year did Alien come out?
79.
Oh, it did come out in 79.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Would he have been coming off of doing Han Solo?
When did he do Indiana Jones?
I have no idea.
What year did that come out?
That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure the first Indy was in the 70s too, or early 80s.
It was. I think mid 80s
He was a busy man.
Yeah, he was.
I mean,
for sure.
if you think about it, damn.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially for George Lucas. When you think about Harrison Ford, all those iconic characters, Deckard, Han Solo,
Deckard,
Indiana Jones, I mean, he was
Definitely.
very involved.
He was big back then.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
but
Deckard, that
I mean,
connects
it
with
just
Ridley
came
Scott.
to mind that, Harrison Ford, that's two ties to two films that we're covering now.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I thought that was interesting about it. Would you call Alien a horror film? Would you guys classify it as a horror
I
film?
don't think it. I wouldn't.
Really?
classify it as-
What you would just call it a thriller?
I think
Sci-fi?
it's more of
A sci-fi thriller?
Yeah.
Okay, but in that sense, in that genre, you wouldn't find a fucking movie that's its main antagonist only has 4 minutes of actual screen time. The xenomorph is
Yeah.
only actually in the movie for 4 minutes. That means all the thrills and scares, had to.
Off screen.
It had to come from somewhere else, but that shock value
Right, it
that's
was
so present today.
Atmospheric. That's kind of one of the great things about Ridley Scott in general and all of his films is the way that he makes the atmosphere terrify you. Just like everything is so in suspense. That's a true
He does.
suspense.
His vision is usually fairly dark and gritty.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing I did right was that there was threats of an X rating for the first cut of this movie, and he had to cut out most of the gore and blood for it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was originally a 3-hour and 12-minute film, and after all the cuts, became a 2-hour film.
Those of you listening that don't know what an X rating is, because that's like a dead language,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Is it?
Basically, I haven't heard anything be
X-rated?
X-rated.
So X-rated was basically what your guys' R-rated is now. Like, the world has become more desensitized and sensitive at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
So is X like worse than R?
Yeah.
yes, X was
And-
basically like, do you understand, like NC-17? Like,
Yeah.
is that a thing to
Like
you?
Yeah.
porn level.
Basically,
rating.
yeah. You know, like, it was when there was far too much cursing and nudity and gore.
And I mean, part of the reason they probably don't do that much today is it's not going to make as much money.
Well, that's it. Now it's
Well-
like they have to have it for the movie to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the uncut version of Alien, not nearly as bad as, like, the movie Hostel would be, and that's an R-rated film.
Oh, absolutely. Or Human Centipede.
Yeah,
I mean, we
yeah.
have absolutely disgusting movies out now.
And I mean, I think a lot of movies now are aimed towards PG-13 rating because you're going to pull in a lot more
today's
money.
youth. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the youth is the target audience.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that Clay
That's-
and I both always have a problem with is almost all the horror movies you see come out anymore are like PG-13.
It
It's
ruined the
very
genre.
rare.
Yeah.
It absolutely ruined it.
Yeah.
So
And then some movies will get their like director's cut after the movie comes out to kind of show what it was originally
And they
intended to
still
show.
suck.
Yeah, but like to get back to that original point, like I personally, yes, I would consider Alien a horror film.
would you?
Yes, a sci-fi horror.
I think so too. I mean,
Mhm.
I always have, and I think
Because
it's
that's
always
what
such
it was
a fine.
advertised. I mean, that's what it was to us when we were kids.
It's such a fine line between what horror and thriller, what you can categorize what one is.
Right.
Now, going back to like how it was only in 4 minutes, I don't know how iconic it was back then because I know there's so many movies now. But like for it to only be there for 4 minutes and people to like love the movie for that, I think that's really cool. Like he made it memorable.
Yeah, when he went with the idea of the xenomorph, he wanted it to be animatronic. At that time, they could not do what he wanted to do, so they found this dude that was 7 feet in a pub, a real skinny, lengthy guy, and they got him put in a suit. Ridley Scott did not want him filmed directly because of his human-like movements. He hated that. So that was his whole thing. He's like, he just wanted certain shots done of this alien, but he didn't want it walking or anything because it looked too human-like. Which obviously over time, you know, with the computer, they
Technology and
made
everything
it.
going
So
on.
now it's mostly the xenomorphs, you know.
Well, that's all now done in CGI.
Yeah, like compare
Yeah.
Covenant to the first Alien movie. Covenant, you see hundreds, I think, of the
Yeah.
xenomorphs at one point. Yeah,
Absolutely.
times have changed, definitely.
I think, but in the first Alien movie, the face huggers, I mean, you saw a lot more of them than the full-on xenomorphs, and that was a big terror factor in the film. I thought.
That's funny you bring that up. I love that you bring this up because how they wanted to bring in the xenomorph and the idea of what the writer said, and they quoted him that they wanted to fuck a human, and they thought, how are we going to do this? So the face hugger, because that's kind of symbolic for rape,
Yeah.
force,
Yeah.
you know, down. And then they didn't want it to be a female. There are 3 reasons they wanted to avoid the horror cliche of a woman being depicted as an easy target. So that's why they went with Cain as the first victim. Making a female of a symbolic rape felt inappropriate to them, which I can see.
Yeah, I
It
definitely
just-
can tell
It's
why.
it's already an uncomfortable situation, and I
Yeah.
think with a woman, it just would have been uneasy for viewers at that time. For us, as a male, it just the idea of rape
Yeah.
is just absolutely terrifying. So they wanted that to be part of it.
Yeah.
That's how the face hugger came about, and I think that's why it's so scary. Is that
I think I was too innocent when I first watched this movie, because I never really put the face, like as a kid, anyway, watching the film, I wasn't,
Yeah.
like, thinking, that creature is raping that man. You know,
Number one.
no.
When I watched the movie,
So-
I probably